I'm Nick Bramley and I'm the CEO of IMPACTUS Group in York. I want to talk to you today about Pracademics and in particular the transition from working externally in the business community to working in academia. What does that mean? How does it work in practice? How does academia respond to somebody with those external skills and viewpoints? And as importantly, how does the former world in which you operate as a practitioner in the business community now respond to you in an academic sense? And how can you leverage that for the advantage and benefit of both you, your student body, and overall the university? I work with lots of universities. I work with lots of senior staff within the university framework. I work with PhD and postgrad students, and I work with undergraduates. And I'm helping, hopefully, to share some insights and views on how the business community and academia can work better together. And it comes down to two things. It comes down, first of all, to understanding, and secondly, communication. So let's take understanding in the first instance. If you're a career academic with very little or no experience of how the business community works, somebody coming into your function department or into your circle of influence within a university environment with lots of external experience can be perceived as both interesting and potentially threatening because they bring a different perspective to a thoroughly and purely academic base. Equally, if you're the person making the transition from practice in the business community to an academic environment, the whole piece can seem really quite sort of traumatic and really quite daunting in terms of the level of experience in terms of research, analysis, and those kind of areas that are built around the rigor of proof and the rigor of dynamic sort of delivery. So that's the same when it comes to the business community itself understanding universities and universities themselves understanding the business community. So let's take communication as the next stage, okay? Communication boils down to the fact that everybody who is trying to communicate with somebody else needs to be very clear about their message. Not just their message, but the impact of that message. So let's take a practitioner coming from business, working in academia, who suddenly got access to world-class, world-leading researchers and postgrad and PhD and undergrad students who are passionate about a particular subject or area or topic. Now let's assume that subject, area or topic is of potential interest to the business community. Leveraging your connections in the business community from which you've come is not just about saying to them, can you help us by participating in a piece of research or by undertaking some intern placements or doing some work placements for our student body, but it's actually allowing the business community to understand the work that you do and the impact of the work that you do. So when it comes to practitioners moving into academia and pure academics building relationships with the external business world, you've got to think of a couple of factors. The first factor is, who do I already know that may be of interest or value to me? But more importantly, I may be value or interest to them. And secondly, who do I need to know? Which sectors, which bodies, which organizations are the types of bodies and organizations that would benefit from and value the research, the collaboration, and the work that we are undertaking as a student body in my department or function. So networking is about clarity of message. It's about identifying opportunities to build relationships, to promote the work that you're doing. But here's the real advantage. Organizations, whether it's business, academics, individuals, don't really care about what people do. They genuinely care about the impact of what you do. So being able to articulate to a business the research that you're undertaking, the collaboration that you require them to commit to, is the starting point for the conversation. In reality, what we're looking for is, why should they collaborate with you? Why should they participate in research? Why should they give you access to their business through work placement, internships, or whatever it might be? And the reason they should has to be advantageous to them on some level. So it has to either move their business forward in some way. It has to accelerate performance. It has to solve a problem. It has to have a commercial, financial, or operational value. It has to move something that's currently maybe stagnating on the back burner, to give someone an absolute live project to move it forward, to create an impact for that business. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it and the impact of what you do. So I would encourage anyone who is a practitioner moving into academia, and we'll call that a Pracademic as the name seems to have been coined. I would encourage you to bring that clarity of thinking to your colleagues in academia, to share with them what the business community values and how a business community should be approached. And I would also encourage those who are moving from practicing into academia to not only expand their connections back in the business community and not go back to the same connections every time, but also to understand why you are building those connections up. Why are you targeting a particular sector, group, organization, or whatever? So in reality, what I want you to think about is this. Can we engage better internally between the business representatives and the academics? Can we collaborate more on projects and share that thinking, that expertise, and that experience within the university body? Can we then take that collaboration approach out to the business community? And if so, what's the impact of that collaboration for the business community to say, yes, we will participate? What skills and experience do you as a Pracademic bring to the university body? And how are you sharing those skills? Are you running small workshops, one-to-one coaching, small group conversations, just to educate pure academics in what the outside world might look like, which will give them an advantage when they're engaging with their potential external networks? And the last thing I want you to think about is, how do you add value as an individual, as a function, as a student body, both to your colleagues within the university framework, but as importantly, and probably more importantly, to the external business community that you once sat in, that you now are slightly moved away from, but still understand more than some of your purely academic colleagues. Networking is a great way to do this. Find out which networks are active in your city or your location. Join them, attend them, communicate in them, take an active role. Could you run a session that just highlights some of the advantages that working with the university might bring to the business community? Could you showcase some of the work that's been done recently over a particular format, so whether that's an online Zoom format in the circumstance that we find ourselves in now, or a physical seminar or workshop space as part of a bigger opportunity? I guarantee to you the business community are desperately keen to work with universities, but they're more keen to understand why. So could you be the representative, growing the network out there, talking about the work, the research, the impact of that work and research, building your network, leveraging your network, but adding real value on a two-way basis between the business community and universities? I think that business community is desperate to work with universities, and if they understand how and why, those partnerships and collaborations have got many, many years of fabulous case studies of mutual success. So leaving the business community to come to academia is one step. don't cut the cord that allows you back into that business community, but also take some of your academic colleagues with you so they can learn from immersion in to some of the business community events, networks, etc. Hope you found this useful. Hope you found this interesting. As I said, my name is Nick Bramley. I'm the CEO of IMPACTUS Group. That's impactus-group.com. Plenty of resources on our website. If you'd like to have a look, please do. And hopefully you found this interesting and potentially thought-provoking. Thank you very much.